Now, so those are the groups that are winning. Who's losing?
We are.
Everybody else, particularly our children. Now look, folks, when I go and talk with groups, and I do it all the time, first question usually I ask is, how many people here feel that we're in better shape today than we were 5 years ago with regard to the critical issue of drug abuse and all the crime and misery that goes with it? Nobody raises their hands. We all realize what we're doing isn't working, but we will continue with this failed policy, quote, for all of its defects, unquote, for one reason. And you know what that reason is?
What?
Our children. Yeah. They want to keep our children out of harm's way. They want to keep our children away from this lifestyle of drug usage and drug selling. And you know something? Drug prohibition puts our children in harm's way for two major reasons. First is, don't believe me, find anybody under the age of 21 and ask them, what is easier for you to get, marijuana or alcohol? And they'll all tell you, if they want to, that's the only key. It's easier to get marijuana than it is a six-pack of beer. It's the same thing with regard to methamphetamines, ecstasy, or whatever else, if they want to. So ask them, if I were to give you $50 in cash, how many of you, I'm not talking to junior college kids or otherwise, high school, how many of you could come back with $50 worth of marijuana by noon tomorrow if you wanted to, and 2/3 of them will raise money? And the other third just hasn't thought about it.
Or any other drug you want.
Or any other drug you want to. Yeah, right now. We'll come back tomorrow in 30 minutes. You know, it's easier for young people to get marijuana than alcohol. Why? Because the alcohol is regulated and controlled by the government, and the illegal marijuana is controlled by illegal marijuana dealers, and they don't ask for ID, do they? Okay? So, the second reason is, and I've seen this in juvenile court day in and day out, and that is, ask yourself a question. If I am an adult drug dealer, how much risk-taking can I buy from a 15-year-old, 16-year-old boy or girl in the inner city or anywhere else for $50 in cash? And the answer is, quite a bit. You know, $50 is chump change. It's nothing for an adult drug dealer, but for a kid, it's a lot of money. And so I'll use them as gophers, lookouts, couriers, whatever. Okay.
Because
all I want. All the kids I want. And then as soon as their reliability is established, and this is what I've seen in juvenile court, I will trust them to go out and sell small amounts of drugs in the communities. Why would I do such a disgusting thing? And the answer to that is easy. Money. More money for me, more money for the kids. Ask yourself this question. If you have a 15, 16-year-old boy or girl selling drugs in his or her community, who are they going to sell to? Us?
No.
They're going to sell to their 14, 15, 16-year-old peers, thus recruiting more children to this very same lifestyle of drug usage and drug selling. At least we say we're trying to keep away from them, and it is caused by drug prohibition. It is a terrible thing to see. Terrible thing to see. We've got to change that. We're going to talk about this initiative. It's going to sweep the country. It's going to sweep the country. People are going to see, hey, you know, the marijuana is going to be here anyway or not. I still remember, a couple of young men for being under the influence of methamphetamines when I was still on the bench. And at the time of sentencing, they're all entitled to make a statement if they want to, and that's a good thing. And they knew what the sentence was going to be. Under Section 11550 of the Health and Safety Code, mandatory minimum 90 days in jail. I certainly was not going to give them more than that, and I certainly could not give them less than that. So they had no particular business to lie. So, you want to make a statement? Actually, yes, Your Honor, I do. You know something? My drug of choice is marijuana. And for years, I have been buying my marijuana from the same supplier. One fine day, unbeknownst to me, this guy sold me some marijuana laced with methamphetamines. I smoked it a couple of times and I got myself hooked. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, that's an issue we can address. You know, when we were having alcohol prohibition, we had a huge problem with bathtub gin, you know, the impurities in the stuff. You look at all the emergency room records and everything else. That was a problem we could address, which absolutely went away when we repealed alcohol prohibition. By the way, on that subject, you don't know this. Homicides went down 40% in the first year after we repealed alcohol prohibition. 40%. The same thing is going to happen when we finally come to our senses and repeal drug prohibition. And the place to start is to elect Steve Collette. make a statement. This is actually a winnable election. It's just one of those things. You know, I mean, Schwarzenegger and all that stuff, where, you know, whoever, isn't it right, whoever gets the most votes of this election wins?
It's top two.
Top two? Okay.
Top two.
Imagine the impact. Imagine the impact that somebody that talks the truth, somebody that stands up for people, that actually will applaud what he not only says he will do, but what he actually does.
Yes.
That's right.
This really, really is an important election.
Yes.
So these are things that we need to do, and we can.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, you know, this is,
Yes.
I've written a book. It's actually, I write a weekly column in a local paper down in Orange County. It's called the Daily Pilot, and it's every Sunday, except for Mother's Day, which is tomorrow, Father's Day, and Valentine's Day. Those are the only 3 weeks that I get off. I write about these things, and you know, they're honest libertarian approaches. A libertarian, yeah, I am, but I'm a pragmatist. Of all things, I like programs that work. It just so happens that what libertarians talk about works.
Yeah.
And I donated my 2 most recent books. My book is called A Voter's Handbook, Effective Solutions to America's Problem. It's not really that hard. It's just incentives matter. What we're doing on the school board or the schools and health care and all kinds of various things. So I have those 2 books. I've donated to the campaign, and if people would, you can auction them off. I don't care what you do with them, but whatever the money you invest on this book, I'd be happy to sign. The money goes to the campaign.
Yeah.
All of us donate at least $100 anyway. You might as well get a book for it. Sign that. I really support this man. He's a good man. He is doing this for the right reason. You are here for the right reason. Let's redouble our efforts and vote for and get out the vote for Steve Collette.
Yeah.